This is MTG Burgeoning, and in this video we are going to update and upgrade our Morophon the Boundless Changeling Tribal EDH deck. Thank you for joining us for another installment of the Up and Up series. Today we've got a good one. It's Morophon the Boundless and our Changeling Tribal EDH deck. Of course, on the left-hand side is our EDH deck. On the right-hand side is our Changeling pool. And right here underneath in the description below, you can click to see the deck tech. You can click to see the deck list. You can click to see the primer series. You can find out all there is to know about this wonderfully flavorful deck that we have here. We've got 4 cards going in and 4 cards coming out. So let's start right away with card number 1. Oh, man, it wants to get in there badly. All right, Morophon, you're okay. All right, here we have the Conjurer's Mantle. We have an artifact equipment here for 1 and 1 white mana. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has Vigilance. Whenever it attacks, we look at the top 6 cards of our library. We may reveal a card that shares a creature type with that creature from among them and put it into our hand. We put the rest in the bottom of our library in a random order. The equip cost here is only 1. So with Changeling, meaning that every creature is every creature type at all times, and this build specializes in that, we should confidently be able to hit at least 1 creature each time the creature equipped by Conjurer's Mantle is sent into combat. Very nice. We get to put a creature card right into our hand and eventually onto the battlefield. With that equipment going into the 99, it's going to take the place of Volo Itinerant Scholar. Now here we had a human wizard for 2/3 that doesn't necessarily act as a changeling in any way, but what it provided could be considered some card advantage if Volo ever lived long enough to see us use his artifact. When it comes into play, we create Volo's Journal, a legendary colorless artifact token with hexproof, and whenever we cast a creature spell, we note one of its creature types that hasn't been noted for this artifact. Creatures with Changeling could have any creature type we can come up with, and we are not short on ideas for that. We pay 2 generic mana and tap Volo to draw a card for each creature type noted for target permanent we control named Volo's Journal. So pretty much with Volo's Journals, however number of counters we have that on that for creature types that haven't been noted, we pay 2, tap Volo, and draw cards off of it. The only problem with that, we have to have Volo in play in order to use Volo's Journal. And with the amount of hate that Volo seems to generate, and with board wipe after board wipe, we have that hexproof Volo's Journal, but we have no way to use it. So with that in mind, the thought process here is with the repeatable card advantage that Conjurer's Mantle provides, we should be able to hit much more frequently than trying to tap Volo when he's not on the battlefield. So we're looking for a better card advantage, and hopefully we'll get that. Card number 2 going in, Descendant's Fury. This enchantment for 3 and 1 red mana. Whenever one or more creatures we control deal combat damage to a player, we may sacrifice one of them. Lower powered Changeling. If we do, then we reveal cards from the top of our library until we reveal a creature card that shares a creature type with the sacrificed creature, and we put that bad boy onto the battlefield. Here we get rid of one of our very low mana valued Changelings and put one of our absolute biggin' beasts from the Changeling pool right onto our side of the battlefield for free. No mana needed. To do that, we gotta swing for some combat damage and sack a creature, but sacking a little Changeling for something much bigger is not going to be a problem at all. With Descendant's Fury going in, it's going to take the place of Guardian Project. Now, this was a tough sell, and it may seem even tougher when you hear my thoughts behind it. This also was an enchantment, same mana value of 4. This is 3 and a green as opposed to 3 and a red. And whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under our control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature we control or a creature card in our graveyard, we draw a card. Now, we have no problems with that. We're not playing Relentless Rats or Rat Colony or Persistent Petitioners or anything like that, so we don't need to worry about that. There are some token synergies, but not enough where having Guardian Project would act as a detriment to it. This is more about how often are we going to be able to get cards from the top of our library or in our library, either into our hand or into combat, onto the battlefield, making a greater impact. And I'm going to be honest with you, through the gameplay of this build, this is a Changeling deck, but it is not inundated with like 40 creatures. We do have a number of creatures, but they are not going to trigger Guardian Project as much as they would trigger a Descendant's Fury. And we do have some ways in which to recur our creatures from the graveyard, so sacrificing those low-costed Changelings in order to trigger Descendant's Fury to get some creatures from the top of our library into play for free, that is another form of card advantage. The cards aren't going into our hand, but we're putting them directly onto the battlefield, which should help the speed of this game in a very big way. The speed of this build, I should say, during a game in a very big way. We shall see. Card number 3 going in. This is Realmbreaker, the Invasion Tree, a legendary artifact for 3 generic mana. We pay 2 generic mana and tap this to have target opponent mill 3 cards. We put a land card from their graveyard onto the battlefield tapped and under our control, and it gains if this land would leave the battlefield. We exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. We can also pay 10 generic mana, tap and sacrifice this to search our library for any number of Praetor cards and put them onto the battlefield. With this being a Changeling deck, every creature is a Praetor, and if we have Maskwood Nexus on our side of the battlefield, then every creature is absolutely a Praetor outside of just the Changelings in the 99 of this build. That 10 mana ability mimics what the World Tree could do with gods, but here we have it for Praetors. With that card going in, it's going to take the place of Thalwar Stone. Very simply, with the Invasion Tree, we can put lands into play by paying 2 generic mana and tapping it to activate it, where Thalwar Stone gives us 1 mana each time we tap it. We get more mana over the course of a game by activating Realmbreaker than we will with Thalwar Stone, so that is a pretty easy change. Last card going in, it is the Titan of Littjara, 6/6 illusion for 4 and 2 blue. When it enters the battlefield, we choose a creature type, and the Titan of Littjara is the chosen type in addition to its other types. And whenever Titan of Littjara enters the battlefield or attacks, we may draw a card for each other creature we control that shares a creature type with it, and if we do, we discard a card. So here we get massive card advantage in a Changeling deck whenever that enters the battlefield or attacks. And that's going to take the place of Stinging Study, which is a one-and-done instant that allows us to draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the mana value of a commander we own on the battlefield or in the command zone. The one-and-done drawing 7 cards for 7 life is being replaced by the repeatable Titan of Littjara here, which should draw us more cards over the course of the game than Stinging Study. You let me know your thoughts about these changes in the comment section below. This is MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things Magic.